Guys, before I start anything, you see the building right behind me across the street? That is the Ivory Coast embassy in Paris. I mean, those people are complete idiots, honestly idiots. When I decided to go to Ivory Coast, and I called the embassy, because I found out my Ivorian passport has expired. And I called the Ivorian embassy from Los Angeles. I think they are in Washington, D.C. And I talked to the young lady in the embassy. And I told her, look, I am Ivorian citizen. I want to go to Ivory Coast, but my passport has expired. What should I do, to go to Ivory Coast? She told me I will have to provide I will have to have the authorization, meaning they call it laissez-passer in French, meaning the certificate of authorization to get me from US to Ivory Coast. I said, okay, what do I need to get that certification, laissez-passer? And she said I will have to provide a birth certificate and also a certificate of naturalization, Ivorian naturalization. I said, why? Because I have an expired passport. Can I send that in? You will issue me the laissez-passer based on that passport? She said, no, it doesn't work that way. I will have to have my birth certificate, and then there will a certificate of naturalization, meaning to prove that I'm an Ivorian citizen. I said, but dude, I have an expired Ivorian passport. He said, but without that, they cannot help me. I said, wow. Okay, but if you have a passport, why would you need your birth certificate or laissez-passer to be able to give you an authorization to go to Ivory Coast? I said, well, I don't have none of those two things because I don't know where I put my birth certificate. It's been almost 35, 40 years that I don't even know what it is. And forget about a naturalization certificate. Where would I get that? Even if I do have them, it might be expired by now, because in Ivory Coast they will need those papers dated not less than 3 months or maybe 2 years. Sometimes they change dates. Okay, I said, well, okay, I'll call you guys later. So I hung up. I said, well, you know what, I'm gonna try to get electronic visa, because since I have the American passport, I'm gonna try to get electronic visa to go to Ivory Coast with an American passport, which I really hated. I didn't want that idea to begin with, but now I think like I don't have any option. I don't have any other choice. So 2 weeks later, I called in again, and I met this young man on the phone. And he told me, I said, look, I'm an American citizen. I'm trying to fill in the visas, electronic visa online, but they asked me a lot of questions. So as an American citizen, what do I need to go to Ivory Coast as a vacation for holiday? Well, he told me that as an American citizen, you're gonna need, first of all, a round-trip ticket to go to Ivory Coast, a certificate of hébergement, meaning a sponsorship, somebody that will sponsor you to let us know that where you're gonna be living, or hotel reservations. So, but then based on that, we can provide you the visa. I said, well, I don't have no problem for me actually for a certificate, a certificate de hébergement. I don't have a problem with that because I got family there. They can provide me that right away. But my issue was actually round trip ticket, because I'm a traveler. I cannot just fly into Ivory Coast, do round trip in and out of Ivory Coast. I might be flying out of Mali or out of Burkina Faso or out of Senegal. So in between those countries, I will use the local buses to get to that place. So, when I told him that, he said, no, they cannot provide me a visa without having a round trip ticket. I said, but I'm flying into Abidjan, and maybe we'll be flying out of Bamako, which is Mali, or Ouagadougou, which is Burkina Faso, or Senegal, which is Dakar, which is Senegal. So for me, doing a round-trip ticket to Abidjan won't help me, and it will be a waste of my ticket or waste of my money. Can I get a visa based on just a one-way ticket? I will fly into Ivory Coast and open jaw, so I will fly out of Senegal. He said, no, in that case, he's sorry, he cannot provide me a visa. I said, he said, well, because he told me that that is the rule for anywhere in the world you want to go. You will have to have a round-trip ticket for that country in order to provide you for that country to provide you a visa. I said, no, man, that's not true. He said, but how do I know? you don't work in the embassy. I said, no, because I travel every year. No one actually in the world will ask you for round-trip ticket in order to provide you a visa. Maybe that was the case in the 80s, but these days, no, it doesn't happen. Because if, for instance, if somebody wanted a visa from Ivory Coast to US, do you think the condition will be you will have to have a round-trip ticket to New York? No way, or to anywhere in US, because you might not get a visa. Why would they tell you to have a round-trip ticket? I'll give you an example. He said, no, anywhere in the world. I said, man, I've been traveling. I mean, I travel 3 times a year. No one asks me for that kind of thing. Ivory Coast is the first one to ask me. He said, well, in that case, he cannot help me. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I did call my family in Paris, specifically my brother. He said, oh, man, don't sweat. Don't worry. Why don't you come to Paris? In Paris, because Ivorian, they travel to Ivory Coast every single day. So I don't think we have that kind of rules here. So you come to Paris, and we see what we can do. Anyway, I talked to my nephew. He's a French citizen, French born. He told me, okay, no problem. You know, because France, Ivory Coast, we have the same rule as in France. First of all, you don't show up in a place. You have to have an appointment first. So you go to the appointment date, and they will give you another date for the purpose you come in for whatever subject you come in for, whatever reason you come in to the embassy. You make an appointment first, and you go that day, and then make another appointment for that particular business you're trying to do. That's a French system. In French offices, they will have 3 offices. You go to make an appointment here, and you go here to do the paperwork, and they will make you another appointment for whatever you are coming for. So that's mean you're gonna waste whole month for one thing. Something could be done in 30 minutes. You will do 3 weeks for that. So I did call my nephew in Paris again. I said, okay, can you make me an appointment in Ivory Coast embassy, because I'm coming for my visa to go to Ivory Coast. He said, no problem. He called the embassy, he paid the fees, and he made an appointment for me to come for the visa. So luckily, he didn't have any problem. He made it everything and paid the fee for visa fee, everything. And I flew from Los Angeles to Paris, and the next day went straight to the embassy and for my visa. So as you say, you go first, you make another appointment for the visa. Although everything is paid for, I have the receipt. So I made that, and I came a week later to submit the form, and with the payment, the receipt of the payment. And then they told me to come another week. I mean, literally 3 weeks passed by, to come another week to get the visa, which I did. And I showed up that day to pick up my passport with the visa in, queued up outside the embassy, and there was a long line. Everybody's Ivorian, but all have a French citizenship. They're all trying to get a visa to go to Ivory Coast. You see, African going to Africa with a European passport, because, for what reason? Because you get more respect from African authority coming with a European or American passport rather than your own country's passport. I mean, they took like a anyway. So, well, we queued up, and I went in. You know, they were calling names out to give you your passport with the visa. Everybody's a French citizen. I'm the only one who had the American passport. The piled up. I see my passport in there. I think the visa was in. I was sure that the visa was in. So, anyway, you know, when it came to me, this lady told me that I mean, it's a guy actually. He told me, I don't want to name names, but I know his name very well. He told me that he picked up my passport. He said, what is my birth certificate? That caught me by surprise. I said, what birth certificate? He said that your birth certificate. I said, well, what do I need my birth certificate to retrieve my visa? He said, well, you're going to need that. I said, well, why? Give me the reason. He said, well, that's the rules. I said, well, I didn't see that anyway. Nobody told me about that when I came in to submit my passport for the visa. By the way, you have an American passport. Why would you ask me for my Ivorian birth certificate to give me my American passport? Does it make sense? He said, well, that's the rule. I said, well, I don't have it. He said, well, I'm sorry, if you don't have your birth certificate with you, I will not be able to give you your passport. I said, you must be kidding me. He said, no, I'm serious. I said, whoa. I said, but what should I do? He said, well, I don't know. Anyway, we worked back at it, back and forth for almost 20 minutes. He would not budge. So I said, but he said, is the law, is the rule in an embassy. I said, but can I talk to somebody who is making that rule? He said, he's the ambassador. I said, please, can you let me talk to him? He said, well, you go downstairs, and there's a lady on the third doors you talk to him, talk to her. So I know definitely she was not an ambassador, but she was in the visa service. I went downstairs and talked to the lady. In between those offices, I saw almost 8 to 10 Ivorians having a fist fight in some kind of windows, because they have windows, so many windows. Everybody came for their own reason. I don't even know what they did. I think they had Ivorian passport, and then they were looking for some kind of paperwork again to go to Ivory Coast. Everything is a paperwork in this country. So, but the foreigners were upstairs trying to obtain our visas. So I went downstairs to talk to the lady. I said to her, look, upstairs they have my passport with the visa in. They will not give me my passport without my birth certificate. She said, yeah, that's correct. I said, why? She said to me that because in my passport, you don't have your dad and mom's name in your passport, but your birth certificate will prove us who you are. I said, are you kidding me? You have a passport, stamp passport. You have a photograph on it. You have my name on it. Everything, and you have an American passport. You don't have a Ivorian passport. Why would you want to know my dad and my mom's name? Why? He said, well, and the passport does not give them enough information about me. I said, Lord, are you kidding me? She said, yes. She said, I will have to provide my birth certificate. Lord, I mean, I spent another 15 minutes trying to convince that lady. I said to her, look, I do not have my birth certificate. I don't even know where I put my birth certificate. I don't have it. Even if I have it, it would be in US. It wouldn't be in Paris. She said, but how about a certificate of naturalization? I said, what certificate of naturalization? A US one or Ivorian one? She said to me, you have to provide us your Ivorian naturalization certificate of Ivory Coast. I said, but I'm not Ivorian. You have American passport. If I had that, do you think I would be here today to get the visa to go to Ivory Coast? I would have been in Abidjan right now. She said, well, you gotta provide us something. Oh my God, what an idiotic move. I could not believe it. My brain I was so hard, my heart was beating. I did not want to yell, because those people can hold my passport and I will miss my flight. I have to buy a whole new ticket to go to Abidjan. I tried to calm myself down. I said, lady, can you please understand my situation? I have an American passport. I came for the visa. You're asking me for Ivorian birth certificate. I don't know what's the relation. She said, no, that's what happened. That's what everybody does. I said, you never traveled before. I told her, you probably never got out of Paris. Ever. Whenever you came from Ivory Coast to Paris, the embassy, walking in, nobody in anywhere in the world that will ask you for your birth certificate, having a passport, ask you for your birth certificate in order to provide you the visa. It does not happen. She said, well, that's what happened everywhere. I said, no, trust me, it does not happen, because I do travel 3 times a year. I've been doing that for 40 years, literally. So I didn't know what to explain. Okay. The next question was, do you have a family in Paris that you can call them to provide us your birth certificate or certificate of naturalization? I said, oh my God, quit thinking. I said, nope, I don't know nobody in Paris. She asked me, where do you live? I said, I live in a hotel, which was a lie. I have a bunch of family in Paris here. Of course, I have a bunch of them. So anyway, she told me, okay, when did you come to Paris?
Here we go, man.
I said, are you kidding me? You have my passport. I have a stamp. The day I came to Paris, it's stamped in there. Why don't you check that out? She said, no, can you provide us your ticket or anything like that to prove us you don't live in Paris, you came from US? I said, first of all, you have a US passport. Second of all, you have a stamp in the passport to tell you the day I arrived in New York, at Charles de Gaulle from New York. So I don't know why you're asking me that. She said, well, I will have to have a copy of an airline ticket or something like that. So anyway, since I did the reservation online, I did make a screenshot on my desktop on my cell phone. Suddenly I said, oh, I might have something for you. So I went back in my folder to open up all this folder. Luckily, I found that ticket, New York, Paris, Charles de Gaulle. And I showed her that ticket. She took that. Okay. I think I can help you with that. Are you kidding me? I was about to die. So that means that was after 1 hour of yelling, screaming in the embassy. They would not budge. So she said, okay, why don't you go back upstairs and tell the young man to give you your passport back, the visa. And I went back up. The guy said, no, he's not going to give me my passport. He said, what? I said, but the lady downstairs told me to come and get my passport. She said, no, she has to come up and tell him that. And I went downstairs again to the lady and spent another 20 minutes because there's a lot of people wanting to talk to her with different things, different stuff. And she said, okay, I waited for her, begged her to come with me. She dragged her feet, walked slowly, climbed those steps up. My brain, oh my God, I was about to die. So when I told the young man, and give him his passport. And the guy with the most sour, nasty looking face took my passport and handed it over to me and tell me, look, you have an American passport. It does not mean you should travel without your birth certificate. Here is your passport. I told him, I said, I hope I would never put my foot again, ever, in any Ivorian embassy, ever again. Get that. And believe me, people do travel in the world without their birth certificate. Okay. Anyway, check this video out. Right outside, when I finish, right outside of the embassy, I recorded this video. I came here for a visa for Ivory Coast. I dropped my passport off 2 days ago. They told me, oh, you come and pick your visa a day before you travel. I came back. They said to come back around 3 p.m. I've been here since to collect my passport. All of a sudden, they told me, oh, I have to have a birth certificate to retrieve my passport. I said, but what birth certificate you talking about? They said, well, an Ivorian birth certificate. I said, I don't have it. I have an American passport. I don't know why you're gonna need my Ivory Coast birth certificate to retrieve my American passport with a visa in. They said, well, without that, they're not gonna give me my passport. And the visa is already in the passport, but yet they will not gonna give it to me without giving them my birth certificate. I said, I don't have it. I have not seen my birth certificate, Ivory Coast birth certificate, in almost years. I don't even know what it is anyway. So they said, well, without that, they cannot give me my passport. I said, are you kidding me? I'm a goddamn US citizen. Why no? If I come for the passport, I don't know why you didn't need an Ivorian birth certificate to get my goddamn passport. So we went at it. So I tried to be calm to try to get my passport. So because you make noise, they would just delay here, waste your time, and my flight is tomorrow. Okay, she asked me again. Well, that's the lady. She asked me if the guy completely refused to give it to me. I want to see a lady in the basement whom I'm trying to reason with, so to go upstairs and get my passport to me. And she's asking me, do you have any kind of documentation? I said, my documentation, you guys have it. That is my passport. I don't travel with an Ivorian birth certificate. Passport is enough, is valid. And I travel maybe 3 times a year. I've been doing that for the last 40 years. No embassy in the world had asked me ever I mean, it's very bright. No embassy in the world ever had asked me for a birth certificate to be able to retrieve your passport. I've never heard of it before. They wouldn't get it. They wouldn't budge. I mean, I wasted almost 2 hours in that goddamn embassy. Nobody will understand to give me my passport. So, but then I don't want to. People are fighting anyway. A lot of people are fighting there for some reason. They have all of them have the French citizenship. You know, vast majority are Ivorian, but they were born here, they had French citizenship. They're shouting over there for different reasons. Anyway, I tried to reason with the lady. I said, dude, lady, I have all my documentation is in Los Angeles. I don't have, nobody can get hold of those documentation. I don't even know what else do you need apart from the passport, which you have. You already have the visa inside, but you would not give it to me because I do not have I do not bring my Ivorian birth certificate to retrieve my American passport with a visa. Do you think if I had that, would I come to your embassy and get the visa? Are you serious? You know, she said, well, you have to give me your parent paper. I said, that's even worse. My parents, I said, they're all dead. My parents are dead. Everybody's dead. I don't have no paper with me. I have the American passport. I don't know why you cannot. I bet if it's a white guy here, they will never ask them for any birth certificate, none whatsoever. Could you imagine a French guy come here for a visa or an American guy, you know, a French guy or a German guy come here for the visa for Ivory Coast? They will know him to bring a birth certificate. Where else have you heard that? Ever? It's a nonsense. Those people are idiot over there. So they're just trying to make your life. I mean, that will not encourage anybody to go to a country. I mean, you submit all the documentation they need. At the end of the day, you said, oh, I need your birth certificate. you have an American citizenship, you have a French citizenship, you telling me because you were African, oh, I need your birth certificate. Does it make sense? Ever, ever, ever. I mean, if you white people, if the French people do that to me, we call them the racists. If an American did that to any of you guys, you will call them a racist. Forget the Arab countries. If Saudi Arabia did that to you guys, you would, oh, just Arab. You guys love to hate Arabs. You're gonna tell them, oh, they're fucking racist. Does it even make sense? I just came. I'm so annoyed right now. I mean, guys, sorry, but I'm sorry. I'm just so annoyed right now. I can't even believe it. After almost an hour and a half trying to reason with that lady, because she asked me for anything, proof that I came to Paris. I don't live here. I said, you have my goddamn passport. For God's sake, I'm not French citizen. I got the American passport. You know I don't live here. I don't have no documentation. So you have that. Why? I don't know why you bothering me. Anyway, I ended up showing her my ticket from New York City to Charles de Gaulle. Then she took that and looked at it. So I gave that to her. She went back up and talked to the guy to release my passport. And the guy is telling me before, he's so annoyed that I went out, he was giving me my passport. He said, well, next time you have to travel with your birth certificate. I said, are you kidding me? Maybe you guys do that in France here. Nobody does that around the world. I've traveled almost 100 different countries all over the world. Nobody. If you have a passport, that enough. That is enough. Even when I was in US, trying to get a visa there was almost impossible. That's why I have to come to Paris here. In Paris here, they didn't ask me any round trip ticket, and they didn't ask me anything. I submitted my how do you call it? I submitted my passport, but then when I came to pick up my passport, they asked me for birth certificate. Are you serious? Are you serious? Yeah. You are trying to, are you serious? Somebody has you have a German passport, you have an American passport, you have a Spanish passport. You telling me you cannot produce an Ivorian visa without your birth certificate? That's a bullshit. Anyway, you guys, they should learn how to make a visa. Maybe it's new for them or it's new to them. They don't know how it is. But trust me, I don't work in the embassy, but I know how visa process goes. All over the world, nobody in the world will ask you for your birth certificate to be able to give you a visa if you have a passport. All right, guys, this is my frustration. I'm just annoyed right now, spending almost 2 hours in that goddamn embassy. Everybody's an idiot over there. They're screaming, yelling, pushing people around. You know, everybody's screaming, you know, for different reasons. All right, then, this is my rant. I'm so annoyed. I gotta calm down and get out of here. I hope I will never have to come. I wish and I hope I will never have to go to any Ivorian embassy again ever in my life. All right, guys. Peace and love. Thank you. Bye. But remember, if that was any other country doing that to me, we probably scream racism. That's why you see racism and or this kind of discrimination comes. Oh, this is not even discrimination. This is being idiot. That's what it is. If you don't know something, they should learn from their masters French. Because I don't think if an Ivorian go to France embassy for a visa with Ivory Coast passport, they will ask him for his birth certificate. They should learn from their master, because I think that's the one they love to obey. All right, then, peace and love, guys. Bye. Okay. Then after then I went to Ivory Coast. The first thing I want to do is to renew my passport right away, because I want to go to Burkina Faso, I want to go to Guinea Conakry, I want to go to all Mali, Senegal. So I don't want to do that with an American passport or any other passport, because I might be paying almost $100 each country. So that would be another $400, $500, $600. I could save it if I have an Ivory Coast passport. So the first thing is that I try to submit my passport for a new passport. Oh my God, you must be kidding me. I thought you go to the office, you submit your passport, you fill the application form, and they renew your passport based on information on the old passport. Nothing like that in Ivory Coast. What they do is, by submitting your passport, you have to reapply you have to resubmit all the other documents to renew your passport. Literally, it's like somebody who had never had a passport ever in his life. First of all, they will ask you for your birth certificate, which you cannot provide it from Abidjan. You have to go and get the birth certificate from the city you were born in. For me, that was about 400 miles, 300 kilometers up north, right in the center of Ivory, because the city is called Bouaké. I have to go down there. Not only that, you have to provide them as well certificate of naturalization to prove that you are an Ivorian citizen. And third, you have to have an ID, Ivorian ID, which I didn't have because I don't know where that is either. So I have to apply for new Ivory Coast identification. That is another process. So they have another thing called attestation, attestation, something. You have to provide that. You have to have about your dad's ID or birth certificate, your mom's birth certificate. If you have your dad's ID, that will void the birth certificate of your mom. So for me, I provided my dad ID, made all this copy, came back to Abidjan to submit that. They flip on the form, because I'm making it very short, flip the form, they look at it, they say no, they're not gonna accept the photocopy of my dad's ID. They need the original ID of my dad. My dad, the original ID is in Boaké, so that's why I have to go up there. I said no, I cannot go there. I told them no, I cannot go there. But can you do anything that to accept those photocopy? They told him, well, they can certify. So that means you have to certify. I had to certify the copy of my dad's ID. Oh my God, because they said that ID is too old. Of course, my dad is old. So then you have to bribe them. So every single step along the way, you have to bribe somebody here, and there to be able to get your paper moved. And if the passport costs about $100, you're gonna spend about $600-700 before you get your passport in hand. By the way, I traveled to England with an expired British passport with no question asked. At the airport, what they told me, your passport is expired. We're laughing, haha. Please renew your passport. When you get to the city. I didn't even know that my British passport has expired. Anyway, it was so easy. They look at it, say, "Oh, apply for a new one and just welcome home." Wow, welcome home. I used to call this one home once upon a time. That's it. From US from New York to actually from Los Angeles to London. Okay, that is Ivorian. Could you imagine if a European country does that to an African person? What would you say? You would say they're racist. That's what you would say. They are racist. That's why we are quick to judge everybody. And at the same time, we don't give ourselves a benefit of the doubt. Look at all this running around you're doing for no reason, for nothing. Something is not even important. I have passport already to renew. That's the hell I'm going through. I couldn't even get to the country because of all this nasty, stupid paperwork. People in the embassy, they don't know anything. They don't know what's going on. Everybody's giving you different information, something. I mean, it does not make sense. I got so frustrated. Well, thank God I got my passport now. Hopefully, I will be start traveling again up north into the different country. All right, and that was my rant. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And at the same time, I'm gonna tell you, please, African, don't be quick to judge everybody as being racist or being that, because we do stuff to ourselves is almost unbelievable or almost unexplainable.